Hey folks, Twisted Christian. I know I haven't did an update on Zion Oil and Gas in a while, but I'm going to go ahead and give one because we are heading into that time period where things are going to start heating up for this company and for the stock. Now, first, before we start, I'm not a financial advisor. Everything that I'm sharing here with you is my opinion. And I'm going to go over some information from Zion Oil and Gas, but I'm also going to share some other things that we all need to watch out for since we're investing in the stock. Now, the price is currently holding at 48 cents. So with the price being where it's at right now, it's looking pretty decent to me, but I also still think it could still go lower, and there are a number of factors why I think that could happen. But we're going to go ahead and get into the latest update. All right, so back on May 19th, Zion Oil and Gas published an update, and I'll just go ahead and read it. Operations at Megiddo Jezreel number 2 safely remain unhindered. We are continuing to make progress as we complete the third stage of the well. Our drilling rate has significantly outpaced our first two sections. In fact, on May 18th, operations set a rig record of 173 meters, which is 567 feet, drilled within 24 hours with a 12.25 inch bit, which is 1.5 times larger than the section of the Megiddo Jezreel number 1. We are encountering our key geological markers as expected as we approach certain zones of interest. Sincerely, Monty Nees, VP of Operations. Alright, so folks, it does look like they are on the right track. And it does appear that their 5-month timeline that they announced is just about on track. I maybe say it might be delayed a little bit, and I think that we may see, it's possible because of everything that's going on in Israel and Palestine, that there might be some security issues that need to be addressed. And I'm pretty sure that they are handling all of that. So whatever announcement that they make, I'm sure it will be under caution. So they had a 5-month drilling plan, which they seem to be on time. It's May 27th, and so approximately June 6th would be the date that they would be done completing the drilling. And so I do expect around after the June 6th date that we get an announcement that the drilling operations have been completed. We might not get an announcement of oil. I don't know how they're going to do it this time compared to last time. If you look at some of the older videos and you can compare the news during the journey when they were doing MJ01 well. Okay, folks, with some of my other videos, I did share some type of expectations, right? Because this is only one well, and this one well has to be viable in order for Zion Oil success. Because if this well is not viable, this potentially could make it very difficult for Zion Oil to proceed to start drilling another well. Or when do I think that Zion Oil will make an announcement if everything is on time and they end at their 5-month goal? Say they end this week of June the 6th, right? So if they have reached their goal and they have encountered oil, and then they test the oil, and then they'll do all the other testing, like how many barrels per day that they'll be able to pump out of that. We may not hear that right away. We may hear of a news release saying they've completed drilling, but they're not making any announcements as far as the oil. So June is probably going to be a month that everybody's going to kind of be on pins and needles. And if we don't hear anything in June as far as any announcement, then of course this is going to go into July. But I think that we will get updates. I think the next update that we get will tell a whole lot of what's going on. Okay, so I want to show on the SEC website as far as Zion Oil's filings. One of the things that I do look up is to see if there is any changes in the CEO or any other people that are on the board, to see if they have purchased any more stocks. Now, we haven't seen any more purchases of stocks since they did that run in January and it looks like in the beginning of February, a lot of different people in Zion Oil bought then. I can't remember what the price was around that time period, but they did buy a lot of stock, and it was a lot higher than what it is today. So you want to check those, because if they have any type of positive news that's going to be coming, you may see these people buying. And on the flip side, if it's not so good news, you actually might see people selling. Okay, so I do want to go over a few things with you concerning Zion Oil. Okay, I do want to go over the 10Q report on the SEC. You guys get a little bit more background and understand, for those of you, especially if you're newer into Zion Oil. Right now, when they did drill their MJ1 well, they did encounter oil. Right, MJ1 encountered oil in the Triassic formation, which Zion believes suggests an active deep petroleum systems in Zion's licensed area. They did encounter oil, right, but the well itself was not a commercially viable well. So Zion Oil believes that because of this, because that they did find oil, that there is an active deep petroleum system in their area. Okay, so one of the other things that I want to show you guys in the 10Q report, because they do have to spend a lot of money every month, and this affects the price. When they have to raise money, they have to sell shares in order to do that. Right, so they have to raise additional money. And just to read this particular part from their 10Q report, it says accounting standards require management to evaluate our ability to continue as a going concern for a period of 1 year subsequent to the date of filing this Form 10Q. We expect to incur additional significant expenditures to further our exploration and development programs. While we raised approximately $1.18 million during the period of April 21 through May 13th, 2021, we will need to raise additional funds in order to continue our exploration and development activities in our licensed area. Additionally, we estimate that when we are not actively drilling a well, our expenditures are approximately $600,000 per month, excluding exploratory operational activities. However, when we are actively drilling a well, we estimate an additional minimum expenditure of approximately $2.5 million per month. All right, folks, so it takes them $2.5 million a month, and they have no income coming in. That basically means that they have to raise that money, whether through the stocks or through other means. That's how much money they have to raise every month. So you guys need to be aware of that when, even if we have a positive announcement, right, there's going to be times when that stock is going up and Zion Oil is going to be raising money, thus causing the price to go down. On, I believe this is page 36, it says here, on January 6, 2021, Zion officially spudded the MJ02 exploratory well. Zion plans to reach a total depth of 19,024 feet, and the drilling is expected to take 150 days. As of the date of this report, our drilling of the MJ02 well is continuing as planned. So I think they are really on time. It's just whenever they strike oil and they have to test the grade, they have to see if the well is commercially viable. Because in one of the key things that happened is that when MJ1 was going through the same process, in the end, the well was not commercially viable. So we pray and well is viable. So you could go to the SEC and do an Edgar search and look up Zion Oil's 10Q, and you can read the whole entire report yourself. Especially if you're new, you'll catch up on everything that has happened with Zion Oil in their 10Q reports. So this is very interesting, and we are headed towards that time period. So that price does look pretty good to go ahead and get some more, but I don't know if this price is going to go down. I don't know. According to Zion Oil, it takes a lot of money, $2.5 million per month, to continue drilling operations, and we are towards the end of those operations. So I do expect some type of announcement in June, whether if they've completed drilling. I think the first one will probably that they have completed drilling. Anything about an oil announcement may not come for a couple days after that, or a couple weeks. Remember, I told you, I shared with you that they have to do this evaluation if they find that this well is commercially viable. Now, I want everybody to kind of be grounded in all of this, because one well can only produce at the very most 100,000 barrels per day. That all depends on the well and the pressure. Keep in mind that this would only be one well. Then they're going to have to continue to drill more and more and more wells in order to be able to produce a certain amount of barrels per day. I mean, let's just say, for instance, if this well can produce 70,000 barrels per day, right? Then they're going to want to start drilling more and more wells, and that's going to cost a lot more money. So Zion Oil does have to raise money throughout this whole entire process. So no matter what, on any positive announcement from Zion Oil, whatever the height is, we know that this stock it's in the OTC markets as well. So there's going to be some fluctuation. There's going to be some volatility. So if you see the stock go up to $5, right, don't expect it to stay at $5. And one of the other things is that we do that. Every stock is a risk, and the first time that Zion Oil did go and drill this well, right, it wasn't commercially viable. I'm not saying that they're not going to find oil. We know that there is oil there, but the well itself may not be viable. So we do have to expect that. So in all of this, no matter what, to make sure that you do have your stop losses in, folks, because I know a lot of people don't agree with this, but if you were to buy $1,000 worth of stock right now, and they made all their oil announcements, and the stock shot up to $5-6, it's not going to stay there. There's very few times where you actually will see a stock stay at its high. And there's so many things that have to happen in between the announcement of oil and before they can even start pumping and actually start making a profit. They're going to have to continue to raise money throughout that whole process. When Zion Oil becomes more stable in the future, when they have more and more wells and they're pumping more and more barrels, that's where I believe you're going to see Zion Oil. Now, this stock, from where it's at right now, where do I see it go to? I don't know, because it's in the OTC markets. If they were to have a positive announcement concerning the oil, and it could shoot up to $5, it could shoot up to $20, but whatever the high is, no matter what, it's going to come down. And when the realization, and when people start taking profits, and then when people begin to realize that, and when people see that Zion Oil is still in its infancy stages, people may go ahead and start selling off and take a profit, and then wait for the bottom. So I'm just giving you my opinion and my thoughts and what I'm looking at. I think in the long term, for energy independence for Israel, and having another player in the market in the Middle East, we know that things could easily take a turn. And we've seen some prophetic words concerning some of those other oil companies that may actually need oil by the time that Zion Oil is really pumping a lot of oil. So anyways, folks, just wanted to give you my thoughts and my opinion. Like I said, look out for the SEC reports. Look out for any updates. I do expect by the end of June to have some type of announcement that they've found oil and they know the grade and they've did their evaluation and they should know if the well is commercially viable. We should know all those things. So anyways, folks, I thank you for listening. God bless. And with that being said, Twisted Christian out.